Imagine walking up to your favorite bar, the one you've been going to for years, only to get stopped at the door by a bouncer who swears you're real. Vertical ID is fake. Now imagine you're 22, turning 23 in a month, the oldest guy in the group, and everyone else gets in but you. That night turned from a chill hangout to the spark of a personal mission. This isn't just a story about getting denied. It's about calculated, cold revenge, fueled by pettiness, receipts, and some good old Texas spite. Buckle up, it gets juicy. Let me take you back a few years. I was fresh out of high school, barely legal, and like most of my friends, I was hyped about turning 21. There was this bar in Dallas. I won't name drop yet, but it quickly became the spot. You know that one place where the bouncers start recognizing you by face? The bartenders slide you a little extra when it's slow, and the vibe just feels like home? That was this place for me. Birthdays, post-finals hangouts, spontaneous nights out. It was always there, always solid. I'd been going regularly since I got my horizontal ID, sometimes even dragging friends who preferred fancier places just because I liked the crowd, the music, and the overall don't try too hard energy. Even when I left for college out of state, every time I came back to Dallas, I made it a point to swing by. Call it loyalty, or maybe nostalgia. Either way, I backed that place hard. Recommended it to tourists, tagged it in my stories, even defended it in arguments when people said it was falling off. I thought I had history there. Thought I was part of the culture. But something shifted while I was gone. I remember coming back during winter break my junior year and walking in like usual. Only the vibe had changed. New bouncers, new bartenders, a different type of crowd. At first, I thought maybe it was just an off night, but then it kept happening. Younger-looking kids all around, girls who definitely didn't look 21, guys still wearing frat hoodies like they came straight from a rush event. It wasn't just a getting older moment. It was obvious the place had started letting in people who weren't illegal yet. I didn't want to believe it, but the signs were there. A friend of mine, younger than me, let it slip that he had a vertical ID and got in no problem. Said the bouncer, didn't care as long as you looked chill. Another told me they knew people who used fake IDs from a Snapchat plug and got in every weekend. One night I overheard someone bragging about getting in at 19 because the girl at the door liked their shoes. It was wild. I chalked it up to new management, or maybe desperation to keep up with other trendier spots in the area. Still, I stayed loyal. I ignored the red flags, kept going back whenever I was in town, paid cover like everyone else, bought overpriced drinks, and pretended nothing had changed. I didn't want to believe my favorite bar had become that bar, the kind that looked the other way for underage drinkers just stay full on a Friday night. But it kept eating at me. There was this one night, I remember it clearly. I was sitting at the bar, and this kid next to me tried to order something called a blue Gatorade. The bartender gave him a look and asked, "You sure you're 21?" And the guy just laughed and said, "Not really. But it's cool, right?" And they served him anyway. I sat there with my beer, staring at the drink in disbelief, thinking, damn, this ain't the place I used to love. So yeah, the seeds of disappointment were there. Quiet at first. A few ignored gut feelings. But now that I think about it, that place had already betrayed me before they ever denied me at the door. The loyalty was one-sided. I kept showing up, thinking I was part of something, while they were out here running a barely legal daycare with vodka sodas and bad DJs. It didn't fully click until the night everything went down, when I walked up, ready to party with my crew, only to be treated like a stranger, like I was the problem, like I didn't belong. That's when I realized the bar I thought I knew didn't exist anymore. It had morphed into something else, while I was off getting my degree and growing up, and they were about to find out that I did, in fact, grow up, just not in the way they wanted. It was one of those nights where the energy just hits different. You know what I mean. Perfect weather, good vibes, no stress. We were all back in Dallas for the weekend, a bunch of old friends reuniting after a few crazy months apart. Everyone was in a good mood, dressed up, playlists blasting in the car, debating shots versus drinks before we even got to the bar. And of course, I was the one who suggested the spot, my spot, like I always did. Even when people offered other places, I pushed for this one. Said it was the move. Said we'd have a blast. We roll up around 10:30, prime time. There's a short line, nothing major. It's that perfect buzz of anticipation, laughter, heels clacking, dudes adjusting chains and collars, the smell of cologne and cheap weed floating in the air. I'm posted at the front of the group, leading like I always do. The place looks the same, neon glowing, bass thumping from inside, familiar bouncer by the door, clipboard in hand, earpiece in like he's guarding the Pentagon. No worries. We step up and start handing over IDs. One by one, he scans them, nods, waves them in. No issues. My turn comes. I pull mine out. Vertical Texas ID, beat up from years of wallet life, but still valid. Still state issued, still mine. Hand it over confidently. He barely glances at it before his face scrunches like he smelled something bad. This looks fake, he says flatly. I blink. Nah, man, it's real. I've been coming here for years. That's my actual ID. He turns it over, holds it up to the light like he's some CSI agent, then hands it back without even scanning it. Not tonight. I laugh a little, thinking he's joking. Come on, I'm literally 22. I turn 23 next month. That's a state-issued ID. He shrugs. Doesn't even make eye contact. Can't take it. Looks fake. Next. At first, I don't move. My friends are already halfway inside. One of them, who's a year younger than me and also has a vertical ID, turns back in confusion. You good? I shake my head. He's saying my ID's fake. She frowns. Mine's vertical too. The bouncer ignores us. Just waves the next group forward. It hits me in that moment. He's not changing his mind. He doesn't care. Doesn't know who I am or how many times I've walked through that door. I'm just another face he decided to say no to, and there's no appeal process. My boys come back out, trying to talk to him. One of them, the youngest in the group, shows his ID and says, Bro, I'm younger than him, and I just got in. How's that make sense? The bouncer doesn't flinch. His look's fake. I say it again. It's not fake. You can scan it, run it. I'll show you my credit card, my student ID, whatever. I'm not trying to sneak in. This is legit. Nothing. And right there, standing on that sidewalk, in front of the bar I'd hyped up, watching drunk freshmen stumble past me inside, it hits. I'm not getting in. I step back. The crew is trying to figure out what to do. We can just go somewhere else, one of them says. But I see it on their faces. They want to go in. It's not their fight. And I don't blame them. No one wants to be that group standing outside arguing with a bouncer. I wave them off, fake smile it. Nah, y'all go. I'll catch up with you later. They hesitate, but eventually they go. Because why wouldn't they? And I'm left there, alone on the sidewalk, ID in hand, heat rising in my chest. Not embarrassment, not yet, just confusion. I stare at the door like it betrayed me, like I'm in a breakup, and it's giving me the silent treatment. I feel dumb, played, disrespected. I can't even enjoy the rest of my night because I'm so stuck on the audacity of it all. I sit in my car for a while, trying to cool off. But the longer I think about it, the worse it gets. This wasn't some random club I'd never been to. This was my spot. And they kicked me out over nothing. Not because I did something wrong. Not because my ID wasn't valid, but because some random bouncer decided, with zero proof, that I didn't belong. Meanwhile, kids fresh out of high school are walking in with fake IDs from TikTok vendors and getting drinks like it has nothing. I started scrolling through my phone, looking at photos from all the times I'd been there, remembering the nights I spent money there, the times I brought big groups, the times I defended that place when people said it was trash. And then it really sank in. They don't deserve my loyalty. And more than that, they don't deserve to get away with treating people like this. If they're going to be shady, let underage kids in. And deny someone legal on a power trip, then maybe it's time someone shines a light on their mess. That's when the annoyance flipped. This wasn't just a bad night. This was a mission now. Not because I wanted to get in, but because I wanted them to feel every ounce of the disrespect they dished out. And I knew exactly where to start. When I woke up the next day, I was still heated. I had dreams, actual dreams, about walking past that bouncer with a smirk and a spotlight behind me like I was in a movie. But real life doesn't always hand you dramatic redemption. Sometimes you have to build it yourself. So I grabbed my phone and got to work. Step 1, Operation Review Bomb. Not fake reviews. That's weak. I wanted real ones. Honest, brutal, and petty as hell. I texted the group chat. If y'all have time today, hit up this bar's Google and Yelp pages. Be creative. Be spicy. Let them know exactly how we feel. They were all in. Even the ones who got in the night before. Because honestly, the whole thing had left a bad taste in everyone's mouth. Loyalty matters, and they saw me get played for no reason. That kind of thing doesn't sit right with real ones. The reviews rolled in fast. I was dying laughing within an hour. Came here with my grandpa, and they said his ID looked fake. Man fought in Nam and just wanted a beer. Unreal. If you're underage, they'll roll out the red carpet. If you're legal, they'll call you a liar and gaslight you at the door. 10 tenths would not recommend unless you enjoy humiliation and overpriced vodka cranberries. Bouncer stared at my ID like it was a cursed scroll. I think he's legally blind or just power tripping because he peaked in high school. We even got creative. Someone posted a review from the perspective of the bouncer. Hi, I'm Chad the Door Troll. I reject valid IDs to cope with my own insecurities. I can't spell identification, but I can ruin your Friday night. Come say hi. I added mine too. Short, sharp, and scathing. Used to love this place. Watched it turn into a daycare with cocktails. Got denied entry with a valid state ID, while literal teens were doing tequila shots inside. Your reputation? Shattered. The reviews gained traction fast. I even noticed a few older negative reviews get new likes and comments. People agreeing, sharing similar stories, confirming that what happened to me wasn't a one-off. It was a pattern. And then came the TikTok. I didn't want it to feel bitter. I wanted it to be funny. That's what TikTok eats up. Drama, comedy, and just the right amount of pettiness. I started filming, half still in bed, hair a mess. You read 22 with a real ID and get denied from your favorite bar because Chad the Bouncer failed basic flashlight training. Cue dramatic reenactment of me pulling out my ID, only to be met with the bouncer shaking his head and yelling, "Fake," while literal children in party hats walk past me into the bar. Then I cut to a breaking news voiceover. Sources confirm that underage patrons continue to enter through a portal hidden behind the bar's dumpster. Meanwhile, legal adults are being sacrificed to appease the security gods. I slapped on some trending sounds, tagged hashtag Dallas bars, hashtag fake ID, or hashtag petty revenge, and hit post. It blew up. Within hours, I had thousands of views. Comments started rolling in. Wait, this happened to me too. I knew they were shady, glad someone said it. That bouncer needs to be audited. Why does this sound exactly like? And then came the D-Miz. People sharing their own stories. Screenshots of texts like my cousin got in there at 19 no problem. It was like I'd tapped into a collective frustration that no one had spoken about yet. The best part? I wasn't even trying to cancel anyone. I was just shining a flashlight into a roach motel of bad business practices and letting the internet do what it does best. Every like, comment, and repost felt like validation. Like I wasn't crazy. Like people got it. And the bar? Oh, they noticed. I saw one of the bartenders post a vague story the next day. Y'all really believe everything you see on TikTok? We good over here. Sure, buddy. If you have to tell the world, we good, you probably ain't good. My TikTok kept climbing. People tagged their friends. Other creators started stitching it. One dude made a Chad the Bouncer skit that had me in tears. Someone even started a fake account for the bouncer with captions like, "Denied Jesus at the door." Too glowy. What started as frustration turned into this beautiful wave of petty, community-powered karma. The kind that spreads not through hate, but through shared experiences and dark humor. I didn't have to scream. I didn't have to beg. I just had to tell the truth in a way that hit and let people run with it. And oh boy, did they run. This was just phase 1, and the storm had only just started. After the social media storm, I was riding high. The TikTok was blowing up, the reviews were roasting, and people I'd never met were sliding into my D-Miz like, "Yo, I got denied there too, and my ID's military issued." But the more people I talked to, the more one detail kept popping up like a broken record. They let in minors all the time. At first, I chalked it up to internet exaggeration, but then came screenshots, photos, text convos, even a video clip of someone barely 19 walking in, holding what looked suspiciously like a clearly fake out-of-state ID, and not even getting questioned. That's when I stopped laughing. Letting in underage people isn't just shady, it's illegal. And in Texas, there is a state agency built to deal with that exact kind of mess. The TABC Texas Alcoholic Beverage Commission. So I did what any petty, spurned, law-abiding adult would do. I went full detective. First, I dove into the TAB website, and let me tell you, it's all there. You can look up a bar's license status, violations, even file anonymous complaints online. They take underage service seriously, as in fines, suspensions, or even full-blown license revocation. I was practically salivating. Their exact wording? Serving alcohol to a minor, or allowing a minor to possess or consume alcohol on a licensed premises can result in administrative penalties, criminal charges, and suspension or cancellation of the establishment's license. Music to my ears, so I started collecting. Every message I got from someone claiming underage access, screenshot. Every TikTok comment with a specific date or detail, archived. I reached out to a few people for confirmation. Some even gave me the names of bouncers they claimed let them in, or the times they'd been served while under 21. One girl, who was 20 at the time, even sent me a pic of her and her friends with drinks inside the bar, dated just last month. No wristbands, no age check wrist tags, nothing. Just smiles, shots, and blatant evidence. I created a little folder on my desktop called For Chad. Inside were 12 screenshots of underage access stories, 3 photo receipts from inside the bar with minors drinking one TikTok DM that literally said, "They let my 18-year-old cousin in last weekend." It wasn't just circumstantial. It was a pattern. Once I had everything, I went back to the TABC portal and filed an anonymous complaint. I listed the bar's name, address, and dropped specific dates, times, and behaviors. I kept the language clear and calm. Multiple instances of minors being allowed entry and served alcohol on premises. Documented claims with photo evidence and witness accounts. requesting investigation into ID screening procedures. I clicked submit. I stared at the screen for a solid minute, heart racing, not because I was scared, but because this was real now. This wasn't a joke. This was pressure, consequences, and the law stepping in. I didn't stop there. A few days later, I submitted a second tip, this time with some added links to public posts and reviews. Different IP, different email. Still anonymous. But stronger. Strategic. TABC docent T. Confirm when they investigate, and they don't always move fast. But I know how bureaucracy works. And I also know this. When bars get even a whiff of a TABC investigation, they panic. Because if a minor gets caught drinking there while they're being watched, that's license gone. Money down the drain. Whole weekends canceled. Owners stressed. Staff on edge. That's the kind of ripple effect that messes up the entire operation. Did they know it was me? Probably not. But maybe they wondered. Maybe they pulled a meeting, told the bouncers to tighten up. Maybe the GM started randomly asking for extra ID checks. I'll never know for sure what happened behind those doors. But I do know this. A week later, someone sent me a Snapchat of the bar with a new sign out front. All IDs must be scanned nitrogen monoxide exceptions? Coincidence? Maybe, or maybe not. I started hearing whispers too. A girl I knew who bartends at a different bar told me the place had gotten hit with a tip and that they being extra cautious lately. No confirmation. Just bar gossip. But that's the thing about revenge. The beauty is in the doubt. The not knowing. The wondering if someone out there has you in their sights. That creeping feeling that something's off, something's coming, and you don't know when. That's what I gave them. I don't know if they're sweating yet, but I sure hope they are. With the TABC complaint simmering behind the scenes and my social media wave still riding high, I figured most people would have been satisfied, but not me. See, there's a certain art to revenge. You can torch the house, or you can pull everyone out of it first, and let the owners watch it sit empty, cold, irrelevant. I wanted the empty house ending, so I launched Phase 3, the silent sabotage. It wasn't flashy, no big announcements, no dramatic posts like, never going to bar name again. That would tip them off. Nah, this was about subtle redirection. The goal wasn't just to slam the bar. It was to reroute the entire social scene somewhere else without them even realizing they'd been ghosted. Enter Bar Gemini. It was just a few blocks away, slightly newer, a little trendier, and had better lighting for pics. I'd been a couple times and liked it. Good staff, better drinks, and most importantly, they actually scanned IDs. The kind of place that treated customers like humans, not suspects. So I started planting seeds. I'd casually mention it in group chats. Yo, Gemini's been hitting lately. You seen their happy hour? I reposted their Insta stories when they dropped DJ lineups. I even slid into their DMs like, y'all ever think of doing a Friday night college promo? Boom, got a 10% code to share. Then I got more creative. I made a fake event flyer. Nothing crazy, just something that looked like a typical nightlife post. Friday night vibes at Gemini. No cover before 11. Drink specials. Good energy only. I sent it to my friends and a few mutuals like, yo, this looks dope. We should hit this instead of bar name. Some of them shared it. Others just followed along. No one questioned it because it looked legit. And that Friday, people showed up. It started small. Maybe 10 to 15 people I knew. But then those people invited others. And those people snapped it. And suddenly, Gemini was packed by midnight. No drama at the door. Great crowd. And most importantly, I recognized half of them from the old spot. It felt poetic. Like watching an ex try to throw a party only to realize everyone's at your new place, having a better time. Quiet betrayal. Perfect. From there, I kept the momentum going. Every week, I posted Gemini content like it was my second home. Boomerangs of drinks with captions like, "Never waiting in line again." Group pics with, "The real ones know where the vibe's at." Tagging Gemini in every post and getting reposted by them like clockwork. People caught on. "Why are you always at Gemini now?" they'd ask. And I'd just smile and say, "'Cause they actually know how to treat people." A few friends even hit me up asking for the hookup, as if I worked there. That's how deep I was in. I basically became their unofficial brand ambassador out of spite. Meanwhile, over at Our Name, things were quiet. I stopped seeing it pop up in stories. People who used to go religiously were now tagging other places. One girl posted a selfie at Gemini with the caption, "Upgrade unlocked." No tag, but everyone knew what she meant. That's the thing about nightlife clout. It's fragile. One wrong vibe, one too many bad interactions, and people bounce. You don't even need to cancel a bar. You just redirect the energy. And I had redirected it so smoothly, they didn't even know they'd been played. The final cherry on top? A few weeks later, someone tagged me in a tweet. "What happened to Bar Name? Used to be packed. Now it's kinda mid." Mission accomplished. And what made it even sweeter? I never once mentioned the drama publicly. I let them sit in the silence, trying to figure out where everyone went, while I watched from the sidelines. Drink in hand, surrounded by the new wave, smiling like a man who just burned the bridge and built a better one across the street. Revenge doesn't always need fire. Sometimes all it takes is a little misdirection and a better bar. I didn't plan on going back. After the reviews, the TikTok, the TABC teeps, and pulling half their crowd to a rival bar, I felt like I'd done enough. Justice was served cold, icy, and well documented. But something in me itched for closure. Not revenge, not even redemption, just that full circle moment. The exhale after the storm. So one Saturday night, a few weeks after the chaos, I got dressed. Nothing crazy. Clean jeans, a sharp tee, fresh kicks. I was sober, intentional, and alone, not part of a big group, not hype about the party, just me and my valid Texas Vertical ID, the same one they called fake, the same one that started this whole saga. I pulled up around 11:15. Same street, same neon glow. A different bouncer at the door this time. New guy. Probably didn't know who I was or what went down. Good, that's what I wanted. I waited in the short line, took deep breaths. I wasn't nervous, just focused. When it was my turn, I stepped forward, handed him the ID, and braced for it. He glanced down, held it under the light, paused. My heart ticked once. Then, beep. He scanned it. Green light. "Go ahead, man," he said, handing it back like it was nothing. I walked through the door and felt the weirdest mix of emotions hit all at once. Part of me was smug. Like, damn right. Another part of me wanted to laugh. All this over that? And deep down, yeah, I felt a little sad. Because the place still looked the same. The booths, the bar, the lighting, all untouched. But the vibe? Empty. Off. Quiet. I did a lap around the space. It was half full at best. The energy? Low. The crowd? Meh. None of the usual faces. None of the warmth I used to feel. Even the music felt generic. I stood at the bar for a second, ordered a soda just to keep my hands busy, and watched. No one recognized me. No one cared, and I loved that. Because I didn't come for attention. I came for confirmation. They lost me. They lost my people. And they didn't even realize when it happened. And now here I was, the guy they called fake, standing in the middle of their slow night, sipping my soda, more real than ever. I didn't need to record anything. I didn't need to say a word. The moment spoke for itself. But just for fun, I took one pic. Just me holding up my drink with the caption, "Guess who made it in with the same ID?" Posted it to my close friends only. Petty? Sure, but satisfying as hell. I stayed for about 20 minutes. Just enough time to soak it all in. Then I dipped back to Gemini, where the party was real and the vibe was earned. Walking out that door, I felt lighter. This wasn't about proving them wrong anymore. It was about proving to myself that I didn't need their approval. That I could get disrespected, get denied, and still rise, smarter, louder, and more strategic. I didn't win by getting in. I won by showing up and not even needing to stay. Revenge doesn't always look like fireworks. Sometimes it is just a slow burn with the right mix of receipts, strategy, and a touch of ego. I didn't need to break the law or start drama. Just expose hypocrisy, redirect loyalty, and play the long game. Getting denied at the door stung, but now, knowing what I pulled off behind the scenes, worth it. To anyone else who's been shut out, disrespected, or underestimated, don't get mad, get petty. And if you like this saga, hit that like, drop a sub, and share it with your most spiteful friend.